To go over what makes an open relationship so incredibly and work so incredibly well, let me go over some contentions people that don't have experience with open relationships or don't know the processes or how it's done have. You're probably saying that it won't work for me because I don't want my partner sleeping with anybody else. And if that's you, that's okay. I'm not forcing anybody to get rid of their jealousy or get rid of their possessiveness. Just so you know, that when you are being possessive and when you want ownership with your partner and when you want your partner to have less choice rather than more by actually having choice rather than having no choice, you recognize that you're not in self-deception, that you know what you're doing, that you know that you want more out of your partner than just love. You want possession and you want ownership, or you want any agenda-based things, agreements to perpetuate whatever you want for your relationship. I'm going to sneeze. So maybe you're saying it's not for everyone. And it's true. You're absolutely right. It's not for everybody. It's only for people who are mature enough to be able to facilitate an open communication relationship. And not everybody can do that. Why? It's because it takes a tremendous amount of maturity for you to be able to facilitate harmonious relationships. And not everybody is willing to be that mature. It takes a tremendous amount of maturity to be able to openly communicate and facilitate non-judgmental acceptance, to take responsibility over their jealousy and recognizing that jealousy is just my ego screaming at me. And my ego screaming at me saying, if I gave my partner choice, they may not choose to return to me. And so I have to prevent them from doing things that might give them options. And so it takes a tremendous amount of maturity to say that, okay, that's what that is. And that's logically insane. So you know what? I'm going to suppress, or not suppress, but I'm going to recognize that feeling inside of me. I'm going to honor it, but I'm going to allow my partner to live the biggest life they can. And recognize what happens for me as that happens. And I realize that every time they come back to me, they're back with me because out of all their options, they're with me. That takes a tremendous amount of maturity. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Or one of the misunderstood reasons why not to be in open relationships is you're going to get diseases. I like to talk about that and laugh at it because a lot of my friends in the adult industry never get anything more than a cold because they're so safe with their health and they've been in it for 10, 20, 30 years. Of course, not everybody's going to be like that. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to be unhealthy and irresponsible. Like I said, it takes a tremendous amount of maturity to say, hey baby, don't go anywhere without a condom. Did you know that in the CDC, the Central Disease Control Organization, said that for a man to contract AIDS from somebody who has AIDS and have sex with them with no condom, for them to contract AIDS, it's a 0.0005% chance they'd get it. It means you could be having sex with somebody often and be married with them for 5 years have sex with them with no protection and not contract AIDS for 5 years. For a woman, it's slightly higher. It's 0.0025, just because you have more opportunities for skin breakage. And so it's a very low opportunity. This is why a lot of people who are in the adult world don't contract any diseases. I've been in open relationships for well over 9, 10 years and haven't contracted more than a cold. I know this because I get checked often. I'm very responsible. And it takes a tremendous amount of responsibility over your own authority to facilitate that kind of environment, a healthy environment. Can you trust people who are in a monogamous relationship more than you trust people in open relationships? It depends on the person. A person can be monogamous, and because they're monogamous, go out with no condoms, and if for some reason the moment strikes and the opportunity is just right, and the person is just their dream, and it's just the time of the month, it's just they have that enough reasoning for them to condemn you, they will cheat on you. Not because it's logically correct for them to do so, it's because their body drugs them. And I'll talk more about that in the book, Relationships 101. Let me grab it. It's on my desk. It's on my desk. So let me now go over why open relationships work so well. Number one is because it's founded on love, unconditional love. So let me redefine it for you if you haven't already noticed that love is your wanting for your beloved's happiness intrinsic to your own happiness. It's your wanting for their happiness, just the same amount of happiness you want for yourself. Let me make a distinction. Conditional love is you're saying, I will love you in exchange for something in return, only in exchange for something in return. Unconditional love is, I will love you regardless of whatever you do. I will love you for being you. I will love you for whatever you do. That is unconditional love, as opposed to conditional. Unconditional love is my wanting for my beloved's happiness intrinsic to my own, whatever makes her happy, whatever makes her self-actualized and for her well-being and gain. If she wants to travel around the world, if she wants to, go for it. If she wants to live her biggest life, if she wants to experience more people, because it's fun, because it's she liked to, for whatever reason, whatever her reason is, it's her reason. For momentarily, not because she wants to be with them, it's because it's fun. I'd like her to do that. And when she comes back home, I'd say, how did it go, baby? Let me know how it went. Did you like anything that I can know so I can try it myself? The next thing that makes open relationships work so incredibly well is that it gets rid of the death knell of every loving relationship. The death knell of every relationship is being and feeling taken for granted. You watching this, if you are in a long-term monogamous relationship, you probably understand this all too well. You have already taken your partner for granted and they have taken you for granted, and you both feel and are taken for granted. Just change the words around. When you take something as granted, it is taken as granted. It's taken for granted. And you are feeling taken for granted when you're taken as granted. In other words, if you grant yourself to somebody exclusively, and they, in exchange for them granting themselves to you exclusively, they are taken as granted. You are taken as granted because you granted yourself. The inevitable result, you both are taken for granted. And that's the death of every relationship. The third and final reason why open relationship, it's not the only reason, there are many reasons, but third top reason why open relationship works so well is because you live with your best friend. Now, of course, you're going to have rules, just like living with any best friend, you're going to have rules. Rules in how to live together, communal living, how to behave, when someone's asleep, little rules like that. They just need a little bit of communication. But living with your best friend is the best thing in the world. You live with your best friend. And you communicate with you live out your life and your partner is your best friend. There's no better relationship. What do you think about this? Now again, I'll revisit. It does take a tremendous amount of maturity for you to facilitate an open communication relationship. Because open relationship doesn't mean open legs or open zipper. It means open communication. Your ability to facilitate your partners being able to openly communicate with each other, candidly, openly, transparently, without remorse. And that takes a tremendous amount of maturity, which is why I created a group so you can learn personal development, self-mastery, master yourself, master your mind, master your communication. And the group is called Quantum Enlightened Advantage. I want to join that. Go to my link in my bio. It's the first link. Click it. What do you think about this? What do you think about open relationships? What do you think about what I just talked about jealousy and possessiveness and ownership? Share it in the comments below. Click the like and click the heart and share this video with other people. Thanks. Bye-bye.